Welcome to the next episode of PMP Mastery Series. We are having an amazing time. We have discussed agile, stakeholder, communication, team, risk, quality, and today we are going to discuss mastery in procurement. Set a timer for 20 minutes. Set a timer for 20 minutes. So we are going to discuss in the procurement. If you are watching this as a first video, I'm going to recommend you please have a look at the videos that we have discussed before: stakeholder communication, team, agile, scrum. Those videos have more impact in the exam. But this video will be less than 20 minutes. We'll try to do that, and we will try to go into those nitty and gritty that are important for your PMP exam. Now, one of the most important thing I want to state here is that what is procurement and why do we even need procurement? Step one here is basically we make a decision. Do you want to make something yourself or you want to buy it from outside? Right? You want to make it yourself or you want to go and buy it from outside? We have to make that decision. Once you have made the decision that I'm going to buy from outside, now here comes the procurement. Now we start doing the procurement. Now of course we will make procurement management plan that will tell how the procurement process will be. It will have the list of qualified vendors, maybe somebody from whom we have worked in the previous experience. It will have organizational procurement strategy, right? And we will make procurement statement of work, which will have source selection criteria, like what are the ways how you can select the source, which sources criteria you make, and you never share the source criteria with the potential seller. So if I am buying the services, I'll be a buyer, and if someone is selling the services, he will be the seller. Sorry. So we'll not share that. Now if our scope is fixed or our scope is variable, we can have a contract according to. If our scope is fixed, like the construction of a house, we know what the scope will be in detail. We will go for firm fixed price contract, which means that nothing will change. If something bad happens, you may have to pay extra fee for that. But this type of contract are good when your scope is clear. Something bad happens, then you can work onto that. But if a seller take more time, he has to pay and things like that. Here the risk is more on the seller and not the buyer. Extremely used in the construction areas, and when your scope is clear, time is clear, things like that are clear. Firm fixed price. But when your scope is fixed, we 100% know that this is our scope, schedule and cost. These things, we know it in detail. We will use firm fixed price contract. When we want to give incentive, the scope is fixed, but we want to give incentive to a seller so that he can complete a little bit earlier. We will use a contract that is a slight modification to fixed price incentive fee contract. Now here we are paying the fixed fee plus we are giving an incentive. Now this contract for sure will be used when we want somebody to complete something earlier. So this is a contractually binding. If they do it, we have to pay them. Third type of contract that has become very important in nowadays is when there's a change of price because of inflation, then we go for economic price adjustment. Again, scope is fixed, but fixed price, economic price adjustment changes the price according to the economy, maybe dollar, oil price, gold price, whatever it is. It is useful especially for long term. When your scope is variable and you want to buy the things on subscription model, like you want to buy things at parts, we will use time and material contract. Uber, example of time and material contract. Hiring resources for a month or two is a time and material contract. Hiring crane, renting DVDs, CDs that we used to do, time and material contract. The next is when the scope, high level scope is there, but we don't know the exact scope. You see, time and material, we may know fixed scope or the scope may be variable, but we want to go for a subscription model. In cost reimbursement contract, the scope is high level, we know, but it can change. For example, when I go to a mechanic saying my car is making noise, I need your help. Or when I went to basically eBay a few days back and I asked them, hey, I want a camera that can help me to improve the dynamics. My high level scope was there, I was not sure how many megapixel, which company, what can give me the best thing. So that was a high level scope was there. Cost reimbursement, you will get, you will pay fixed fee to the people plus cost reimbursed. Whatever the cost of the part is, you have to reimburse them. For example, let's say you went to a mechanic, the mechanic replaced your timing belt, you will pay them the cost of the timing belt, cost reimbursed, plus whatever the fee that they have agreed that this is the fee that we are going to charge. The next in the cost reimbursement is of course cost reimbursement plus incentive fee. Okay, here we want to give incentive to them. Hey, if you can complete my work earlier, I will love to do that. I will pay him the fixed fee plus the cost of reimbursement, the same as this, plus incentive fee, one more fee here. Okay, the third one is cost plus award fee. Now, cost plus award fee is interesting. Here, you did not agree something beforehand. In incentive, you did agree, so that can be challengeable in the court. In award fee, you did not agree anything, but what you are doing it, if somebody did a good thing, you are giving them a tip, bonus, things of those nature. Cost plus award fee. So whichever the type of a contract you need in your project, it depends how you want to tackle the project, how you want to go for the project. It can be any of those. Here, in the fixed price contract, the risk is less on buyer, more on seller. Here, the risk is more on buyer, less on seller. Here, time and material actually have the maximum risk on the buyer, because sometimes if we don't do what is in the contract, if the crane get damages, the buyer get a lot of thing. But time and material give me flexibility, which is actually very important for me in multiple projects. So your contract is done. That is the part of project scope statement. We know what we need, how much we need, we have a source selection criteria. Now what we will do with the procurement statement of work written, procurement statement of work written, we will, the planning is completed, we will advertise the opportunity outside to the sellers. Hey, what do you want? These are the things, you can have these things. We will advertise the opportunity. The things will be there: RFQ, RFI and RFP. These three things you must know. Request for information. Let's start with this. If I don't know about anything and I am going to a seller, I am asking information. Hey, do you know about this thing? He will provide the information to us. If I know something, I am only asking, hey, what is the price? For example, student come to me, what is PMP? That is request for information. When the student says how much you charge, $699, that is request for quotation. When they ask for a detailed information, that's a request for proposal. Proposal is detailed information, why you are charging this much, what is the purpose, what is covered in there. So that's your entire planning which we have discussed. Now we are gonna go to execution of requirement. Execution, or also known as conduct procurement. What happens basically in conduct procurement? In conduct procurement, now the bidders, they will come, we will have a bidder conference. We will have a bidder conference. In bidder conference, we will explain our requirements. Okay, this is the thing that we are looking, these are our requirements. Okay, we will listen to their questions, whatever the questions they may have. Once the bidder conference is done, they will submit their proposals. And then, once the proposal is submitted, then we have our negotiations. Negotiations will happen Please note that we avoid the project manager take part in any negotiation regarding money to avoid the bribe and things like that. He is there to make sure scope, quality, things of those natures are implemented, but he wants to make sure that money part, the procurement department talks about it. So once the negotiation are finalized, now you get the agreement. Agreement can also be called as contract. Sometime what happens, you first have an initial agreement, letter of intent, okay, and then official agreement, whatever is it. Now we get the agreement. Now everything will be happening according to the agreement. Execution is completed. Now monitoring and control is a very interesting for procurement, because here where the real work will be happening. Now if you want to audit your seller, it must be written in the contract. If audit is not written in the contract, you cannot do it. It must be written in the contract. For example, I have a lot of things. Recently I bought iPhone 15. Still I cannot audit Apple. It must be written in the contract. What we can do is that whenever the deliverable comes, we inspect the deliverable. The deliverable comes, we inspect the deliverable. Okay. So when the deliverable comes, you inspect the deliverable. If deliverable is according to your requirement, it is according to that, it is yes, you pay them and close the contract. But if the deliverable is not according to you, here a conflict has happened. Conflict is done. How to handle the conflict in procurement? These are the steps. Step 1, sit together, try to get a win-win situation. Okay, both parties agree. If it is not possible, then try to do what is written in the contract. Now, both parties mostly interpret the contract according to their terms. That's what the lawyers are for there. If contract you cannot get a resolution, you get an alternate dispute resolution, means you get an arbitrator, somebody from outside, a facilitator who both parties can listen. If that is not done, then you go to court. Going to the court is never a good solution. We don't want to do that, but that's the last solution. Okay, and once the procurement is done, you close the procurements. Procurements are closed in monitoring and control. We don't wait for the project to close. We keep closing the procurements throughout the project. Throughout the project, procurement, small, big, are being continuously closed. Okay, so this is the important things that you need to know about the procurement. One more time, we need to know procurement strategy, procurement plan, what is in procurement statement of work, what are the type of contract we have, what is our source selection criteria, do we know the estimates, are we going to get independent estimates, if you want to modify the contract, how the contract will be modified, what is bidder conference, what is RFQ, RFP, things of those nature, how to handle a conflict in procurement, you should know these things. A very important thing is that if you get a question and in the question there is something, you get a supplier you want to communicate, and you have both procurement plan and communication management plan in the option. Normally communication management plan supersedes whenever there is anything about communication, but in the case of procurement and risk, whenever you want to communicate, you follow their respective plans. I hope this quick mastery series was good to you. You understand the flow of procurement. I will also send you one of the mind map of procurement. If you are not my student, just message me on my number and tell me that, hey, or comment it on that wherever you are watching this, that please send the mind map. Send me your email. My team will send you the mind map of procurement, a quick summary into it. If you are my student, just put in the mastermind group, you will get that. Secondly, my batch program starts in 2 days. Today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It starts on Friday. If you haven't joined the program as of now, I would like this opportunity to ask you, join this program so that you can become PMP in 4 to 6 weeks. The next batch is going to be amazing. We are going to do PMP without any slides, and of course, you don't have to read any book in my program. Although I'm an author, this pathway to PMP, I have written it. For those people who want to read the book, I ask them to read this book. This is the most summarized book ever. But you don't even have to read this book to pass my program. We do it without any kind of book. So do like and please subscribe. If you haven't done subscribe, please do that so that you get all the notification and everything. As the channel grows more and more, recently we hit 20,000, it motivates me to get better ideas, get better way to work into that. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope you have watched the previous videos. If not, this is the playlist. Go for this playlist, start from agile stakeholder communication, the entire list as it is very important, and I wish you best of luck. Bye bye.